Hi, it's Lisa. Today I'm doing another load prompt. Today's was about remembering times when someone was reading to you. And I really don't remember. I have this one very faint memory of my mother reading to me as a child, but I know she read to me a lot. And I went to her house in preparation for load looking for these small books, and I remembered them as the little golden books. And I asked her where the little golden books were, and she didn't know. And we're looking around, and she just kept saying she didn't have them. I said, I know you told me you kept those little books. And finally, I found this one book, and I said, it's like these. And she said, oh, your little reading books. And that's going to be the title for our page, Little Reading Books, because that's what she called them. And these little readers were in storage, and some of them, as you can see, are not in very good shape, and some of them were, but there must have been 100 of them in boxes. And she had bought these books, back then they were, if this was 15 cents a piece, and some of them maybe even cheaper than that. She bought them, I think, at the grocery store when we would go every week, and she would read them to me, and pretty soon I was able to read them back. And that's her memory is me poring over those little books. So that's the story that I want to tell, that and sort of finding the books. And I do have this one picture of me sitting with a book or a magazine or something when I was little. So I'm going to use those photos, but I thought it would be fun to use some pages out of the book. So like I said, there was probably 100 of these. I've packaged them up. Some of them we're getting rid of because they were just in too bad a condition. But I brought home some that I wanted to keep, and then a few that were not in very good shape, and I think I can take some pages out of these to use on my layout. So, as I say, since I have so many and I don't have anybody pass them on to, I don't feel so terrible about cutting up some of these books. So I'm going to do a couple of pages from the books, and then I've got my two photos here and title and journaling, and I've got a silhouette die cut to do for the book. So let's take a look at these books and see which ones I want to pull some photos out of. I thought this little Three Bears book, there was one in here that I especially liked with the story. Where it is. There's Goldilocks looking in the door at the bears, and I think that page would be perfect. So I'll pull that one out. I'll get my cutter and cut that one out so that I can do that neatly. So it looks, and we've got a lot of red here, so that looks like we're going to use a lot of red in that. And let's see what other, oh, that's so pretty. There's some beautiful images in this deer book too. Oh, I like the little farm. So I do end up pulling that page with the farm, and I'm going to actually go to another book that I don't have out here to get one more page. The ABC book was in pretty good condition, and I decided I didn't want to take anything out of it. And then I have a photo of the books and the photo of me. And I've decided to use a craft background because I think that goes really well with these. There's the one that with the little ducks that I took out of another book. I liked the colors, and I needed a little bit larger piece of paper there. Now for my title, I've got to do some piecing or some cutting up of letters because I just didn't have enough letters of anything in any set. I didn't have an S, and R's and N's and stuff are very easy, I think, to trim down and get some things, but I'm going to have to get real creative with the S. I wanted to mention in the pictures, since I didn't have a picture of Mother reading to me, I had the picture of me, but I used a picture of the books. And then, of course, these book papers as a way to capture the memory without having, you know, the exact perfect photo. I did an ebook last year called No Photo, No Problem, that goes over how to deal with situations where you don't have just the right photo. And I don't have a lot of childhood photos, so I've got lots of examples there, and sometimes even today we just don't always get the perfect photo. Now what I had there with that letter S is I used the ampersand symbol and trimmed it down. It's not the best S in the world, but it, you know, makes it work because I just didn't have any of these sets that matched with an S in it. Goldilocks was always one of my favorite stories. I still use Goldilocks as an analogy, or I used to when I was doing a lot of training classes, corporate training classes. Goldilocks was always sort of my go-to analogy that everybody could remember. And so I thought that was an appropriate one to use on the page, because apparently it made an impression on me early in life. Now I need to get my journaling in there and my little die cut that I'm going to do on the silhouette. Ready to lay out these letters, just working backwards. One thing I love about foam letters is they stick without extra adhesive. But books, I will have to glue that on with some, I usually use some Tombow adhesive to glue things. And then I'll put little up there kind of off camera. So I've got my journaling printed out here, and it ran a little longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. It's important to get all those words in, so I'm going to cover up a little bit more than I had planned of those book papers. And I went ahead and did my die cut on the silhouette. It's a little book, and it's supposed to say story time over the top, but I made it smaller than, you know, the original plan, and the silhouette can cut some really fine things, but it just couldn't quite handle that tiny little word. I do have a stamp, though, that says read, and I think that would be cute to stamp over the book, the open book. Now here's where sometimes I should leave well enough alone. I decided that the book would look better if it were cut out of book paper. And so I used some paper. This is from it was actually a school book for music book, and I bought it for the sheet music. That's what I got it for. I think I got it at $1 at a thrift shop. And what I'm doing is taking some of the text from this book, where it's talking about learning and different things in place, just, you know, very generic kind of text. And I'm going to cut my sections of my book out of this paper. So I divided the little open book part in half, and then I'm just cutting around. I decided not even to trace, just to hold it and cut it. The challenge I had with this is what I should have done is cut 2 of these white pieces and used one of them as a template and used the other one as a base. So when I got ready to glue this all together, it would have been easier to have seen how the pieces fit together. Because I have a little bit of a challenge, as you'll see in a moment, getting them lined up. But they do come out okay in the end. And that's going to fit down there at the bottom of my page. And I'm looking for my read stamp, and I couldn't find it. It was right there beside of my hands. Sorry about my head. Because all I'm doing is just lining up these little pieces of the book paper. And again, if I'd had a piece to have glued them onto that was all together, it would have been a little bit easier. When I get those in place, I'm going to stamp the word read over the top using some fluid chalk ink, because I know that stamps really well. But it is open letters, so I thought I would color them in. And one of the great ironies of life is that when we are younger, our books have really big print, and when we get older, we can't see things because everything's little. And I'm pulling out some little hearts here, and when I go to color this in, I have to get glasses on. I just started having to wear glasses to do my coloring now. And when I was looking at this video a while ago, I realized I still didn't do as good a job coloring as I probably could have. And the little hearts, I'm going to color those in yellow ink. Well, we're celebrating reading with some pages out of some old reading books. And we have our die cut that was a little bit difficult to piece, but got that pieced in there with the word read on it. And I did not plan this, but at the bottom it says going home to read. That was to say, I did not plan that. There's a blogger, Julie Kirk, who does all these cool things where she cuts out words and does stuff. I did not plan that. That would be really cute to do that kind of thing with your books. Is if you had some old ones, is to cut up some of the words and make your own little journaling or whatever out of them. I haven't quite got brave enough to cut that many of mine up yet, but anyway, so that's our page. Lots of title work and a little bit with the silhouette. And here's our sketch, which you can find over on my blog, along with the 2014 sketchbook if you're interested in more sketches. And if you're interested in the No Photo, No Problem ebook, that's also available over on my blog. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you will leave me a thumbs up if you like the video. YouTube helps it advance my channel, and I've enjoyed doing the video for you, and I hope you'll stop by next time.